Hey team, I hope you're well. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Blakemore. I teach travel and sometimes triumph. This is going to be a teach video, but it also relates to triumph as well. Let me explain. I'm hoping that this video will help just one person out there, whether you're a mentor or a mentee. I'm hoping that this is useful to someone out there and continuing my belief that if my videos help one person out there, then that's my job worthwhile. In this video, we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome, which is something that some of you may already know about, but it's something that I've suffered with in the past. Imposter syndrome is basically the feeling that you don't belong somewhere, like you're a fraud, like you are insufficient to do a specific job. So imposter syndrome sounds like many different things. You might hear or say things like, I don't belong here, I don't deserve to be here, I'm not good enough, I got lucky. How am I the right person to do this job? That person over there could have taught that lesson way better, or could have done this job way better. And those are some of the things you might hear as a mentor or say as someone who is experiencing it. Now, I experience imposter syndrome in lots of ways. As a YouTuber, I hate that phrase, I experience it as this channel grows because I often feel like I'm someone who doesn't produce the right sort of quality content to have the amount of support that I have on this channel. As I continue through teacher tubing, is that even, no, gosh, that's even worse. As I continue with that, I feel like I'm even more of an imposter to share my experiences in school, because sometimes I portray the picture that I am doing really well and that everything's floating along nicely, when in reality there are those weeks that are a real challenge. I'm going to share a clip from a video now. Why is it technology never works when you want it to? I spent ages last night creating a flip chart for the lesson and obviously other lessons and things like that, and the interactive whiteboard glitched out and broke halfway through the lesson, literally as I was being observed. So as you'll have seen, during an observation week, I had an observation where things went wrong and I really did feel like an imposter. I felt like I didn't deserve to be on this platform and that I should probably stop what I'm doing because I'm sharing lots of tips and saying things that will encourage you guys, but then at the same time not doing well myself. So I struggled with imposter syndrome then. I also struggled with imposter syndrome when I started my leadership position. I also struggled with it as and when I started my NQT year, because I wasn't sure if I was the right person to be teaching year 5 and 6 because I hadn't taught it beforehand. And I know that many NQTs out there will experience imposter syndrome throughout their career. And I say career because it's not just something that happens during the NQT year. Like myself, it happens for a long time. So what I wanted to talk about is a range of different ways that mentors can support mentees who might be experiencing imposter syndrome, but also ways that you can support yourself and things that I found useful for myself in the past. So I think it would be quite useful to talk about how mentors can support mentees to start with, because there is a range of different things that my mentor during my NQT year did that really did support me, and I've written them down in my little thing here, and it's got an evil face because imposter syndrome thoughts are pretty similar to this. So to start off with, if you are a mentor, the first thing you need to do is to normalize someone's feelings, to sort of share that it's okay to feel the way that you are, so that that person doesn't feel like a total clown. The second thing you want to do is to challenge their feeling. That's a really important one. You want to say things like, well, why do you feel like you're not good enough? You want to say, if someone's saying that, you know, I'm just not teaching maths well, I can't teach maths, you might as well teach maths. Actually, those children are really learning from you, and that's something that my mentor definitely did for me during my NQT year, was actually get the books out and say, look, you know, your books are very similar to my books in a range of different ways, and things are going well, because that challenges the beliefs that you have as the mentee. Similar to that affirmation, it's important to recognize that your mentee is actually doing a good job and to develop that self-belief that that individual might be struggling with. Share your own imposter syndrome stories. Now, if you're telling me you haven't had a feeling like this, I actually think you're lying, because everyone goes through those feelings of self-doubt. It's important to recognize and share your own stories so that, again, it helps them recognize that it's okay to feel the way you are. It might be, as a mentor, that you're struggling to be a mentor. You don't want to say, well, you know, you might be thinking that you're not a good mentee, but I don't feel like I'm a good mentor either, because that's just going to make the other individual feel guilty. But you're certainly sharing those stories of not feeling good enough yourself is going to help normalize those feelings too. At the same time, do not allow your mentee to give you all the credit for something going well. So I always sort of looked up to my mentor and thought about them as a bit of a superhero. I still do. They're some sort of superhuman, honestly. But at the same time, it was also important when things went well for that mentor to say, actually, you've done really well. You know, the SATs results have come back fantastic, and you've had a job to play in that too, which would then defeat my poor self-belief. So now let's move on to tips for you if you are feeling like you are struggling with imposter syndrome. First thing you need to do is observe the thought. What thought is it? Is it that you're not good enough to do a job? Is it that you feel like you're just simply lucky to be in that role that you're in at the moment? You need to make sure that you actually notice that thought rather than just let it defeat you. Once you've done that, one of the things you need to do is to reframe that thought. Well, if you think that you're not good enough to do a job, you need to reframe it. So it might be that you think you suck as an NQT, but actually reframe that rather than thinking that you're struggling as an NQT or you're not good enough to do the job. Reframe it in the way that actually those struggles are going to benefit you when you eventually become a mentor. So instead of thinking you suck, you're actually going to try and use that learning journey as a positive. On that line, you need to try and remain positive, so try and see the positives throughout the day. One of the things that can really help you with that is separating fact from opinion. Your own opinion and self-belief can often be detrimental to your own well-being, but when you start to think about the actual facts, that will support you. When you actually think, right, I'm not good as an NQT, look for things that are going well, look at the books, look at things that are supporting those facts. So if it's that you don't think you're teaching maths well, sit down with your mentor and actually take the time to look through the books and see the facts. At the same time, it's really important to talk to people. There are people available, like I said about being a mentor, to talk to if you're feeling like you are suffering from imposter syndrome. And as a result, it is really important to kill your ego. Not everyone is perfect. Perfectionism doesn't really have much of a place in teaching, I don't believe, because it's something that needs to get phased out because it will support the long-term understanding that people make mistakes. And if you understand that people make mistakes, then it's going to support you when you're feeling like you're not good at the job because you're able to look at the positives more. As you start to look for those positives, start to track your success, start to visualize your success. Think about the way that you're going to feel as and when things go well. As you start to reframe your mind into the more positive and start to track those successes that you have, it's going to really support you to defeat that imposter syndrome that you may be feeling. And finally, the tip that I'm about to give you contrasts a tip that I give NQTs often, and that is to say yes to things. Now, I often say no to things when you're struggling with work-life balance, but actually saying yes to things that you think are going to grow you as an individual is still just as important. If someone offers you an opportunity, it might be because they believe that you are able to do that job, and if you think that's going to better my understanding of something specific, so it's some sort of CPD or something that they want you to take on, and you feel like you might be able to do that, say yes to it because it might grow your confidence too. Hopefully you found something within this video useful. And if this video has helped just one person out there, like I said at the start, that is my job done completely. If you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can see future videos too. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, but until then, stay positive, talk to people if you're struggling, and come out.